morning, students. Today we will be discussing about Dracunculus medinensis. This is the picture of Dracunculus medinensis or guinea worm is a nematode that causes dracunculiasis, also known as guinea worm disease. The disease is caused by the female, which is 0.7 to 1.5 meter in length and 1.5 mm in diameter, and is among the longest nematodes infecting humans. Myself, Balram Sai, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Government Dungar College, Bikaner. Dracunculus medinensis, commonly known as guinea worm or fiery serpent worm or naru worm, the skin of infected persons shows blisters. These blisters, on coming in contact with water, burst and the larvae contained within it are released into the water. The pathogens produce diarrhea, asthma, nervousness, and eosinophilia in humans. It is a digenetic endoparasite. The vector intermediate or secondary host is the water flea, cyclops, a freshwater arthropod. Now, first we will discuss about its classification. Phylum Aschelminthes, class Nematoda, order Dracunculoidea, genus Dracunculus, species medinensis. In Dracunculus medinensis, we will cover the topic under the following headings: distribution, habits and habitat, general characteristic features, life cycle, pathology, mode in infection, treatment, precautions. First, the distribution. It is commonly found in warmer regions of the world, in India, Africa, Arabia, South America, West Indies and China. It is relatively common. If we discuss about its habit and habitat, the endoparasite inhabits the epithelial layer and underlying tissues of the skin. Man is the primary and Cyclops is the secondary host of the endoparasite. Cyclops is a common crustacean found in freshwater ponds, lakes, streams and rivers, and thus the disease is common in those areas where water ponds containing cyclops are in close vicinity to human populations. In Rajasthan, it is common in Udaipur, Banswara and Jhalawar districts. Guinea worm infection is also common in other animals like dogs, raccoons and minks. If we discuss about the general characteristic features, Guinea worm is known to humankind since biblical times and is commonly known as fiery serpent worm. The endoparasite inhabits the subcutaneous tissues of the host, particularly of the arms, shoulders and legs. The worm exhibits sexual dimorphism. The female measures 0.7 to 1.5 meters in length and 1.5 mm in diameter. The anterior end is blunt and the tail region has hook-like structures. Male is smaller and measures only 20 to 30 mm in length. The tail end of male is curved and coiled and it has 10 pairs of genital papillae and 1 pair of copulatory styles. The males are few in number. In both the sexes, a cuticular fold is present at the anterior end. 6 labial papillae and 4 double papillae are found on the cuticular fold. Thread-like body has digestive, reproductive and nervous systems. In mature females, alimentary canal, vagina and anus are reduced and then they disappear. Only uterus, which is filled with embryos, is present in the body. Immature animals have well-developed alimentary canal divisible into mouth, pharynx, intestine and rectum. In male, common cloacal aperture is found, while in female an anal opening is present. Testes and other reproductive organs are present in the middle region of males. If we talk about the life cycle, people become infected by drinking water containing tiny crustaceans that are infected with larvae of Dracunculus medinensis. Here you can see cyclops containing L3 larvae taken up by man with the contaminated water. Then the L3 larvae releases in intestine and reach subcutaneous tissues. Worms mature in 3 to 4 months, reproduce. Male worms die after copulation. After copulation, uterus gets filled with L1 larvae. Female worms reach body surface, especially on legs, and cause irritation, leading to papules and ulcer formation. Ulcer ruptures on the immersion in water and releases L1 larvae. These are ingested by cyclops and are released in water. L1 larvae changes to L3 larvae in 3 to 6 weeks, and cyclops is the intermediate host and man is the definitive host. And these L3 larvae are taken up by man with the contaminated water. This is all about the life cycle of the Dracunculus medinensis. If we talk about the pathology, after ulcer formation on the skin, the infected person develops symptoms of nausea, diarrhea, asthma, nervousness, and eosinophilia. Bacterial infection in ulcer may cause other complications. The endoparasite develops these problems by excretions of toxins. If we discuss about the mode and infection, the infection generally occurs when people drink water containing tiny crustaceans that are infected with larvae of Dracunculus. After the crustaceans are swallowed, they die and release the larvae which penetrate the wall of the stomach and intestine and enter the abdominal cavity. Their larva matures into adult worms which then mate. If we discuss about the signs and symptoms of Dracunculus medinensis, people do not usually have symptoms until about 1 year after they become infected. A few days to hours before the worms come out of the skin, the person may develop a fever, swelling, and pain in the area. More than 90% of the worms come out of the legs and feet, but worms can appear on other body parts too. People in remote rural communities who have guinea worm disease often do not have access to health care. When the adult female worm comes out of the skin, it can be very painful and take time to remove and be disabling. Often, the wound caused by the emerging worm develops a secondary bacterial infection. This makes the pain worse and can increase the time an infected person is unable to function from weeks to months. Sometimes permanent damage occurs if a joint is infected and becomes locked. If we talk about the treatment, when the guinea worm is ready to come out of the body, it creates a painful burning blister on the skin. The blister eventually ruptures, exposing the worm. Management of guinea worm disease involves removing the whole worm and caring for the wound in general. There is no specific drug to treat or prevent guinea worm disease. There is also no vaccine to prevent this disease. Now, the optimal management of guinea worm disease involves the following steps. First, the infected person is not allowed to enter drinking water sources. Next, The wound is clean. The affected body parts may be immersed or soaked in water to encourage the worm to contract and release larvae. Emptying the worm of larvae may make removing the worm easier. The worm is then wrapped around a rolled piece of gauze or a stick to maintain some tension on the worm and encourage more of the worm to emerge. This also prevents the worm from slipping back inside. Then gentle traction is applied to the worm to slowly pull it out. Pulling stops when resistance is met to avoid breaking the worm. Because the worm can be as long as 1 meter in length, full extraction can take several days to weeks. Afterwards, topical antibiotics are applied to the wound to prevent secondary bacterial infections. The affected body part is then bandaged with fresh gauze to protect the site. Medicines such as aspirin or ibuprofen are given to help ease the pain of this process and reduces inflammation. The steps are repeated every day until the whole worm is successfully pulled out. If we talk about the precautions, in human beings, infection develops by drinking cyclops infected water. The water reservoirs should be kept clean and insecticides should be used to kill the vector host. Water should be boiled before use. The water reservoirs should be of closed type to prevent infected persons to contaminate the water through ulcers. Thanks a lot for paying the attention, and in the upcoming lectures we will discuss more about the other protozoans and other platyhelminths which are responsible for other diseases in human beings. Thanks a lot.